What's up, everyone? It's Marion with Restoring Ghettos Forgotten, and I'm here today with a message about audacious hope. Audacious hope. And so I'm going to be teaching a little bit on Hannah, how Hannah was an audacious hoper. Okay, if you haven't done so already, please click and subscribe on my YouTube channel for more real talk videos. And there it is. So go ahead and click and subscribe. This channel is meant to encourage and to empower our people to greater knowledge, to learning how to do a lot of self-development, and to encourage us to think beyond the now. So that's what this channel is about. I hope this message encourages everybody that listens to it. So I'll jump right into it. Many of you already know Hannah is in 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 18. And so most of you know her message about Hannah wanted to have children for her husband. And like many of us here today, some of us struggle with that issue. But for her, instead of her getting bitter and angry at God, she believed and she hoped in God that he would give her just what she asked for. So she continued to go to the altar to pray and to worship God. And even after years later, when she wasn't able to conceive children, her husband later took on another wife, and this woman was able to do these things. But nevertheless, she never gave up hope that she would eventually have her own child or children. So she kept going to the altar. And so his second wife began to mock Hannah because of this belief she had. It was like she thought it was false hope, but Hannah knew better. And I'm encouraging women all over the world to know God for yourself, to know that what it is, if you're asking something good to come about, he's going to bless you with that blessing. You just have to keep praying, believing, and hoping and walking in that audacious hope. And even some can have audacious faith, like you have faith, and it's so miraculous and it's so powerful. You're walking towards what it is you want, and other people look at you and they mock you and they laugh and say, how dare you believe in that? God has showed you no evidence of that in your life, but you're hoping and you're believing for that. Guess what? I believe it will happen. I'm one of those people that's like Hannah. I have that audacious hope and I have that audacious faith as well. So she kept believing that eventually God would reward her, because what she believed was, she thought that if you couldn't have children, that you were cursed. She didn't want to be cursed. She wanted to believe God for all good things. She wanted to receive all good things, so she never gave up. That's what you call audacious hope. The belief that God is not dead. He sees all. He's powerful. And you're going to be confident in great expectations of what God is going to do in and through your life. So she always kept that hope. And then even in the face of all the circumstances that she experienced, she realized that the enemy's attempt to kill, steal, and destroy was not alive in her life, that she was going to have great things in her life. So that's what I challenge everybody out there today, to always believe and always have hope. And so she kept believing and she kept praying. And here's another scripture, Matthew 7:7-8. Keep on asking and you will receive what you ask for. Keep on seeking and you will find. Keep on knocking and the door will be open unto you. For everyone who asks receives, everyone who seeks finds, and everyone who knocks, the door will be opened. Matthew 7:7. And there's so many other examples of people that had audacious faith. Daniel had audacious faith, and several others. And so this is what Hannah's desire for a child was so strong, and Hannah's desire for a child was so strong that an ordinary healthy kid would do. Like, she didn't care. She didn't want him to be superhuman. She didn't want none of that. I want an ordinary kid, Father God. Please give me an ordinary kid. As she wept in the temple and she worshiped, she prayed the following audacious prayer. And she made a vow saying, O Lord Almighty, if you only look upon your servant's misery and remember me and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to you for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head. That's 1 Samuel 1:11. And so that's all she had in mind. But the miraculous thing is, and the wonderful thing is that God, he's so much bigger than what we could ever imagine, hope for, or even ask. And so in my spirit, not that long ago, God stopped by my bed and said, I need you to think bigger. I have something bigger in store for you. You're asking me for these little things. I have something much vaster. I need you to think bigger. I need you to get out of your way, and I need you to think bigger. So that's what this message is for you today, for you all today. If you're thinking small and minute, God has something way more vaster in store for you, but you have to be open to receive it. Okay, so that's all she asked God for. It was very, very simple, but guess what God did? Now, God has something more in store for Hannah than giving birth to an ordinary child. He wanted to bless Hannah and all of Israel. So not only did he want to bless her with the things that she wanted, it was to bless other people as well. Many of our blessings are not just for us. It's so that we can share with other people and elevate other people. So what he did was, he blessed her with Samuel. He was a powerful prophet of whom it was said, the Lord was with Samuel as he grew up, and the Lord was with Samuel as he grew up, and he let none of the words to fall on the ground. 1 Samuel 3:19. So that audacious hope that his mother had, Hannah, not only created a great man, a great son, but it was to bless all of Israel. So it blessed her and it blessed further out. God uses the blessings that he gives us so that we can bless other people, elevate other people, and give other people hope. And so we have to be real mindful of the blessings that God gives unto us, that we have to know that we don't take those blessings and we don't covet them, and we don't hold them so tight in our hands that we have no room for any further blessings. And we're holding them so tight, so we're not helping other people, and we're also hindering our own lives. So it's very important, and I know that we have to be discernful about some people, some situations and circumstances that we get into with other people. But that's why it's always good to pray. I never forget my grandmother. My grandmother raised her sisters and brothers. Her mother died early in life, and so she had to rear and raise her brothers and sisters. So she didn't really have much of an education because she had to work in the fields, and she had to provide food for her brothers and sisters while her dad was off working and doing what he had to do. But even with her not having an education and not being able to read, she knew God for herself. And she knew him, and she believed in him, and she had a very, very strong, powerful work ethic, which I was able to look at, and now I example in my own life. And so because of her belief in God and knowing God for herself, she couldn't read the Bible. But when I tell you this was the strongest, holiest woman I ever met in my life, that was my grandmother, Alberta. And so what she instilled in me is, she said, I don't care what circumstances you see or you find yourself going through, always pray. Never forget to pray. And that's why I'm so reminded of Hannah. Regardless of, she wasn't seeing what she was praying for, she still had the audacity to trust God with what it is she hoped for. And so she kept praying, and her character still remained strong, and it was the same, and it was steadfast. She didn't get bitter or angry or go out and lash out at other people or be evil or vindictive. She just trusted and believed in God. And so I'm here to tell anyone today that's out there doing good works, don't grow weary in your good works. You want to continue to be the person that God has created you to be, so that you can see, eventually you're going to see the fruits of your labor. Don't give up. That's what this message is about. Continue to pray, continue to have faith and audacious hope, and just do what it is God is calling you to do. And never give up. So that's what this message was about, and I think it's a very powerful message, because she went so many years without getting the very thing that she hoped for, but she never gave up. And it was at that moment that maybe she was at her last wit's end. She never gave up, and God blessed her with a son. But not only did he bless her with a son, he was not ordinary. He was able to bless all of Israel. He was a great man of God. And so I want to encourage you today that just steadfast in your prayers and your hope, and always do right by people. Always put good energy out there, and that's exactly what you're going to get back. And so I was talking to a young lady this week, and she was talking to me, and she was hurting, and I was hurting with her, because that's just how I am. And I was encouraging her, and I say, and she just doesn't understand why she feels things so deeply. And some people make light of her, that she has this deep feeling of compassion towards other people. And I say, you know what, that's how God made you, and you should not change. Continue to be that loving, compassionate person. Continue to feel things deeply, but you also want to make sure you have healthy boundaries, and you don't let people re-injure you all the time, because you are forgiving, because you are loving. God gave you that heart of flesh. He gave you that softness within you because he knew he was going to need you to love other people. He was going to possibly need you to love the unlovable. And that's what we're commanded to do. We're commanded to love each other, not hurt each other. And if you're not going to help someone, you definitely don't want to hurt them. So I encouraged her to not change, or not to let her heart become hardened, like, some of us here on the planet Earth have become so hurt and bitter and hard that we want to lash out and be bitter and angry to everyone. I encouraged her, don't ever let anyone change how God made you, because he gave you that heart for a reason. And eventually you're going to recognize it, because your purpose is going to come into play, and it's going to all make sense to you. So I encourage you guys today that feel as though you're getting slapped by everybody that you care about. What I mean by slapped is that you're pouring into people, you're giving to people, you're encouraging other people, you love them, you pray for them, and every 5 minutes you feel like somebody slapping you. Wow, I thought that person really liked me. That really hurt, Or, dang, that's something I wouldn't have done to someone else. That really hurt. And I say, you know what, just because that's happening, eventually God is gonna align you with like-minded individual and people that appreciate the heart that you have, people that appreciate the person that you are, and the people that are gonna celebrate with you. And eventually all the people that ever hurt you, all the people that's kind of fallen to the wayside, it won't even matter, because you're gonna be surrounded by a better quality of people that love God, that have like-mindedness like God, and they're like you. So continue to be all that God blessed you to be, and never let nobody change how God made you. You're uniquely you for a reason. God needs you in his kingdom, and he needs you to help him in his kingdom building. And nobody's going to be able to do it better than you, because there's a unique gift that he puts in each and every one of us, and he wants to take it. He wants us to use those gifts. So I'm done with my message. I try not to get over 15 minutes. And so I'm right at 12. But I thought this was a message I wanted to put out there to encourage someone that's been waiting on God for a really long time. And you've been praying, and you've been believing, and you've had hope, and you've worked hard. Just know that your time is coming. Just know that I don't give up, no matter how it looks in the natural. There's stuff going on behind the scenes in the supernatural that God is working out for you. Provisions are being set forth. Resources are being set aside. He's aligning people to come in and help you with whatever vision he's given unto you. So you don't want to give up. You want to hold fast to your purpose. If you know your purpose already, you want to pray and protect your purpose, because there will be people that are not of God that will trying to come into your life to steer you off your path. Stay the path, stay the course, especially if God has already spoken unto you and given you a vision on what you need to do. So this is to encourage other people. Don't change, don't grow weary in well-doing. Continue to be the light of the world, and everything you've ever imagined and even more is going to come into fruition. So that's what this message is about. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Again, if you haven't done so, please click and subscribe on my YouTube channel. Share this video if you think it will help someone else. I really would greatly appreciate it. I promise to get you guys more content. I'm trying. I think I'm going to have to hire an assistant with one of my other businesses, because it's just becoming a little overwhelming, so that I can be, have a healthier balance. But I do love you guys. I appreciate you. Always remember to love God, love yourself. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and be blessed. I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.